kind of cheapo, but it works. It's on an uneven surface. You can see the roofline like twists. It's also the slowest car ever made.
Maybe parking in a way that's easy to get towed.
167 over here.
An X-Cup team and a pretty funky little Lancer
It
here.
really is a 61 Dodge Lancer. We've got Zachary over here. We've got Daniel, Ryan in here, and Falcon. We've got drivers, navigators, X-Cup. These are students.
A lot of people coming up to us either saying, oh my God, that Lancer, that was my first car, or just completely getting the car wrong.
Because we can always swap a brand new one every single day.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the fact alone that it's been here for how many days?
Yeah, that's a really good sign.
With the battery on,
That makes
and
me
it
more
started right up.
confident.
So I'm not too worried. We'll throw the charger on it tonight anyways.
Yeah,
we'll throw the
absolutely.
trickle charger on it.
Bump it up.
We'll have Milwaukee batteries.
Let's check
right?
all of
There's
our.
one in
Uh,
here.
There's one in there.
let's check all of our lights.
What else do we have in this car?
Brake lights. Yep. Brake lights are good. Left blinker.
Hazards are good.
No hazards yet.
Zach, turn on the headlights.
The hardest part of the race was like adapting to all the rules and the regulations, like trying to figure out how exactly we were going to be making our times better, and a lot of that was calibrating the speedometer correctly.
Not just driving the car. You have to constantly be listening to what the navigator's telling you, but you can't look at the road. It's kind of counterintuitive. You have to watch your speedo at all times. So you'll be driving through these twisty country back roads, and the entire time your peripheral is on the lines in the road, but your focus is on your speedometer.
Navigating was pretty good for me. I think probably easier than driving, but it's really mentally exhausting. Like you have to be really locked in for like 8 hours straight. It's very tiring.
Favorite part of the race had to be every morning getting up and it being just a brand new day, a brand new race. We were going to be in a different state, meeting new people in a new town, and we get to drive the car again and, you know, just see America.
So Dan was my driver, and I think we got along really well. And you know, we like figured out our own system after the first few days, and we really like locked in together. We figured out how to each say as few words as possible and still get the exact same meaning across. I think that was great.
And can I put 93 in it to even it out?
Nah. The hardest part definitely had to be the daily repetition, getting over that hump of we're 6 days in, we've got 6 more days to go. Driving through Connecticut, driving past my hometown exit where my house is a 1.5-minute drive away, knowing that I think at that point we had 4 or 5 days left. That was really hard.
Yeah, that hump was for sure just absolutely brutal.
Engine, trans, and battery are good.
Peggy Stanley from Sussex, Wisconsin. They are rookie.
I'm surprised it stalled out with like you could feel it.
Biggest annoyance was definitely the electrical gremlins that the car had. When it was raining outside, obviously you got to use your windshield wipers, but there was a draw in the electrical system. So we had about 15-20 minutes of drive time before the battery would go flat. And if you broke too hard or had to turn the car off for whatever reason, you had to swap the battery out.
Come on in there,
You have to go across and get your ticket before.
Yeah. On your right, stores. After that, on your right.
You guys all right?
Oh yeah.
Bag.
Just in case I have to do it again.
Yep. Nope. Smart. Yep. Do that.
Challenger 866, Dave and Liz.
How you doing? Thank you.
This is the Ferguson team.
Wow, this is wet.
Struggling to figure out how they come up with that name.
Nick is down there. He's going to pull you in about 100 yards down on the right.
Okay. Coming up shortly. 866 option with the numbers matching 340.
I'm
Do we need
impressed
this
that we
sticker or
started
no?
that quick.
Alley 0. We're starting in T-minus 2 minutes. Number 167 on its way. How you feeling, Zach?
A little nervous.
Yeah, super nervous. Super nervous and super hot.
It's about 90-something degrees right now, and we're sitting still.
We don't have any like miles per hour until it starts getting timed, right?
None.
Okay. We just have to start at the ground.
So a question that we got a lot as racers from people who weren't participating in the races: why don't you just pull out your phone and use the GPS? Well, there's a couple things to it. Number one, sportsmanship. Pulling out your phone is considered cheating and is grounds for getting you completely dismissed from the race and disqualified. Number two, a GPS wouldn't really help. The Great Race is about timing, not about getting there the fastest. When you start a day, you have no idea when you're supposed to finish. Therefore, you cannot plug in the destination of your finish, because it would get you there the fastest way. So let's say the route was supposed to take 4 hours and 32 minutes, 17 seconds. The GPS is going to take you away that might only take 50 minutes, and you're off close to 3 hours. And finally, the routes are not straight shots. We're taking back roads, we're going back around on ourselves. It was very complex, and a GPS would really hinder you more than it would help you.
Good job. Congratulations.
Good job, guys.
The race took us to 17 main locations, all around the northeastern quarter of the United States. We started off in Owensboro, Kentucky, Lawrenceburg, Indiana, Lancaster, Ohio, Marietta, Ohio, Morgantown, West Virginia, Frostburg, Maryland, Purcellville, Virginia, Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, Lawrenceburg, Pennsylvania, Binghamton, New York, Montgomery, New York, Providence, Rhode Island, Loudon, New Hampshire, Freeport, Maine, Owl's Head, Maine, Seal Cove, Maine, and then ending in Gardner, Maine.
The part I look forward to the most every day was when we got to the meetup point first thing in the morning, we got our directions, we hop in the car, and once we get through the transit zone, which usually took about 45 minutes, doing the calibration runs every morning, getting to that the start location, we find our start point. It's usually a road sign, and then it's like we got a minute, we got 45 seconds, and then that 30-second countdown comes, and you know that once, you get 10, 15 seconds, you're full throttle on the gas, just going, and your day is starting. You're on the road for 8 hours.
Driving was tiring, although it seems like it shouldn't be. It's like very mentally fatiguing. So by the end of the day, you're exhausted.
Was I doing that by sleep?
So it was a little shaky. I think if we had like a little shaky in the beginning, I should say, like we cleaned it up pretty quick. And that's just getting used to each other, feeling each other out.
Not the cough though that day.
It's a completely new set of like phrases and like words. You have to find what works for you.
It's a different way of communicating than what you're used to.
Exactly.
We were in different. Oh, 25?
Yeah, 35 at the small blue sign.
We were in different.
30. It's pretty sharp, Zach. Did you feel prepared?
Yes and no. So as far as like materials and supplies go, I think we were one of the most well-equipped teams as far as like what tools we brought, spare parts and stuff like that. But I think more so like the technicalities of the race and like stuff like that, we weren't as prepared. Like we had our issues with our speedometer the first couple of days, and that was something we could have figured out ahead of time. We could have figured out our acceleration times and deceleration times, pausing at stop signs, stuff like that. We definitely could have prepared more for that kind of stuff before we left.
He is wearing shorts.
Shiver me timbers.
How you doing?
Hi. Just one on your thing. Sure. Thank you. And here's the order start for tomorrow.
Thank you so much.
It's a Valiant.
It's a Dodge.
It's a Lancer.
It's a Lancer.
It's the same thing basically,
Similar.
besides the front end.
Yeah, because in my ex-husband's family, they had Darts and Valiants.
Oh, yeah?
And they run forever.
They do.
I mean, yeah, the Slant 6. Every time we tell someone this has a Slant 6, they're like, oh, you can never kill those things. And
Yes,
it's from the...
yes.
Yeah.
All you have to do is change oil.
So, all this driving, all this racing, how do we actually end up doing? Well, let's take a look. So on day number 1, we finished with a time of 1 minute and 12 seconds. Our best score, aka our lowest time, was 4 seconds. Our worst score, aka the highest time, was 26 seconds. For the first day, we were feeling really confident about this. We were pumped. We got almost under a minute.
Okay. Because that makes it worse.
Okay.
You got a 13. So you don't want to ask for a whole lot of time.
That's fair enough.
Fair enough.
On day 2, let's just say we didn't do as well as day 1. So, our best leg was 33 seconds. Alright, our worst day was 1 minute, 11 seconds. All the legs added up, we ended up around 4 minutes, 23 seconds. This was a big crash back down to reality after that first day where we did so good for our first time. Day 3 kind of continued the trend of day 2, where we still didn't reach the highs of day 1. Our best time was a pretty good 13 seconds, but our worst time was 2 minutes. Overall, we ended the day with 5 minutes and 40 seconds, so definitely not what we were hoping for.
Like, are we about to park?
This is the end of times, Falcon.
The apocalypse.
Do you think Doc is here already?
I hope so.
He probably is.
After a rough day 2 and 3, we did come back for day 4. Kind of a return of the king situation. So we actually had some really good times on day 4. On leg 2, we had a 1 second time, and on leg 1, we had a 2 second time. Our worst time this day honestly wasn't even that bad, with 26 seconds. After it was all added together, we finished day 4 with a time of 1 minute and 29 seconds.
Where do we turn in our time adjustment sheets?
Right here to that man in the suspenders.
All right.
Take your order and start tomorrow.
Thank you.
Hold on, time delay coming.
suspenders.
Oh, we only take time delays from the front seat.
Day 5 was okay. This was the day where we started running into and noticing speedometer and battery problems. So, our best time was 3 seconds, with our worst time being 1:16. After all was said and done, we finished the day with a score of 3 minutes.
Thank you.
You know, pictures, it looks better when the road is shiny.
Dan, you want me to get the wheel?
Yeah, we didn't want you to run over Connie.
On day 6, we did pretty well. Our best time was 4 seconds, with our worst time being 48 seconds. On day 6, before we started, we figured out all the speedometer issues. We were getting a little bit more used to how we can conserve the battery of the vehicle. And we did pretty well, and we finished the day with 2 minutes and 5 seconds. Day 7 was a huge day for us. It was our first ace, which means that we were spot on, which was awesome to hear, and we were all super excited. We also got another great time of 3 seconds, and our worst time that day was 1:19, which we were totally fine with. We got an ace that day and a 3-second leg. We were feeling really good. Our total time was 3 minutes and 16 seconds.
What was it? Yeah.
Day 8, we actually ended up not finishing this race. We got lost, we ran into some issues, but, you know, it's not about winning and losing, it's about the experience.
One Dodge Lancer, super groovy.
On day 9, we did pretty well. This was the final day. We finished day 9 with 1 minute and 18 seconds. Our total time was 14 minutes and 49 seconds throughout the entire 9 days of the race.
We got an ace!
We did it, dog.
Congratulations.
Finally.
Thank you.
Best memory was probably when we pulled up, gave us those 2 ace stickers. That was a pretty exciting moment to get the aces for that day.
What is an ace?
An ace is when you just match your time up perfectly with the time that the race provides. So we had 0 seconds more and 0 seconds less than the time they provided.
Maybe.
Round Hill, Virginia. Dave is driving. Liz.
What was the second sticker they gave you guys?
2 ace stickers.
One for each side?
Yeah.
Oh, do they do that normally? That's sick. Good job, you guys.
Thank you. That's fantastic.
Good. Car's doing great. That's awesome.
I really liked just when we got out of the car after, like 8 hours of no air conditioning in those seats. And just there's all these really cool antique cars lined up together, and you get to just eat dinner in air conditioned room. It was really nice.
Mr. Brent Aiken from Zephyr Cove, Nevada, your driver, has navigated.
All right, Dan, maybe tomorrow.
Maybe.
An ace. Zach, that means you're going to give him a mark.
Hi, I'm Zach. I'm a technology and engineering education major, and I was the driver for the last great race.
Hi, my name is Falcon Yule. I'm a tech ed major, and I was one of the navigators on the Great Race Trip in our 1961 Dodge Lancer.
So my name is Dan, technology, engineering, education major. I'm a senior at Central, and I was a driver for the Great Race.
My name is Ryan Zamboni, and I was the second navigator as well as the documenter for the Great Race 2024. I'm a tech ed major and a senior at Central.
What was the part that you looked forward to the most every day?
Probably dinner
And that bed.
in that bed.
That bed, though.
Oh, I think my best memory is just like when I got to sit down in the car with no phone and just read a book. I think that was great.
What was your best memory?
My best memory was for sure part of like the downtime after the race. Just all the guys bonding together, hanging out, having some great laughs late at night, even though we probably should have been going to sleep early, getting ready for the next day.
I think my my favorite part of the race would have to be just, you know, there was this really cute dog at the end of a lot of the days. And, you know, just after a very long day of being in the car, get out and get to pet the dog. It was really cute.
Yeah, kind of acted as like a pseudo therapy dog.
Yeah.
Would you participate in the Great Race again?
I would, but I would need a break first. It's very tired.
Yeah, and then even with us going back and forth navigating, it was still extremely
Yeah.
tiring. Yeah,
Absolutely.
just the day after day being in that car for 12 hours was brutal.
Really brutal.
Yeah, I absolutely would do it again. I think with all the experience that we got this time around, it would be like a lot more competitive and we'd be able to get our times down a lot. So I would definitely do it again.
Would you do the Great Race again?
Again, in a heartbeat, I would do it. Absolutely. The month after the Great Race when we got back, I was so happy it was over. Being away for almost 2 weeks, just wanted to see my family and friends and, you know, sleep in my own bed instead of a hotel room bed. But now that it's a few months removed and, you know, the new race route got dropped and I can see, you know, I'm still following them on social media, seeing them prepare for next year's race. I really want to do it again.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
There's my mom. There's Maddie.
Thank you.
Maddie's here? Yeah.
Yeah. Is she going to Acadia with you?
Yep.
Oh, nice.
I have no idea.
Absolutely killer 61 Dodge Lancer.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Having a large time this week and the funkiest car on the race, and I absolutely love it.
Funkiest car on the
From
race.
Central Connecticut. Man, I didn't realize, Scotty, we're 30 minutes from finding out who won the thing. Yeah, I'm starting pretty cool. I'm getting nervous. All right, thank you so much.
Falcon, that's all you.
Competition. Last year, the driver of this car's mom bought this car a long time ago. She had it after it was 3 years old. She bought the car. He learned to drive in it. She showed up at the end last year. He was 92 years old and navigated across the finish line. This is Brent Yates from Sapphire Cove, Nevada, is driving. Ken Spencer from Lincoln, California.
He made it. I don't know what this is.
Sportsman division. Brent learned to drive in this car, and he's driving it in the Great Race. That's your brother. You learned to drive in this car too. That's awesome. And you all are competing. That is amazing.
Thank you.
Good job.
Pull up and get back in. Put your back tire on this car.
Was this car, when you had us for kids, was this car this nice then? It was much bigger. Yeah, I'm not sure that's the car.
Thank you.
These are world champion Olympic caliber suitcase packers here. You don't want none of this. What? Listen, head to head, nobody can get more junk into a 5-pound sack than these cats here. Family car, awesome stories. Glad your mom got to ride across the line this year. Celebrate 20 feet ahead. 1926 Model T Speedster, hand-built by my friend Paul LeBlanc from Brentwood, New Hampshire. He asked his son Sean from Oakland, Florida to get in the car for their very first great race in the car that Paul built. Check this little speedster out. 26 Model T, father and son team, completing their very first great race, sharing the hugs and the smiles. That's why you built this car, right? Absolutely. Sean, you have a good time? Did you wear your sunscreen like I told you to? Yeah. Okay. He got a little bold the first day, had like a tank top on. I'm like, hey.